Whew. Okay. So now we get to answer a question that's been posed, prompted, restudied several times these last few weeks. After all these years of not posting, why am I showing up now? Why, after all this time, am I doing a 30-day challenge? When you know your girl don't like to do things every day. I've already had to use my one free streak. If you know, you know. Why not 10 years ago? Why not 5 years ago? Why not last year? Why not during Korea? Why not after Korea? Why not during grad school? All of these different points in time that could have happened. And I've been filling in pieces of this answer, right? The documentarian, the gap, the container, the permission, the years of denying parts of myself. And so today we're going to answer the question directly. There's two parts to this. There's a practical reason, there's a deeper reason, and they're both connected. They're both connected. So first, the practical. The practical is this. Over the years, through all the scattered jobs and unscattered jobs, the ones that actually did connect, I've done at different points during the job search. I have done contract work. I've done part-time work. I've done full-time work. Y'all, I've done a little bit of everything. Um, and I know the resume shows it. I am a great interviewer, but it felt like I didn't have anything to show for it. I don't have a portfolio or a website, a playlist, a work of body or a body of work that says, you know, this is what I've done, this is who I am, this is what I can do, this is what I'm interested in. Just being able to be that container, right? That container, that capture all. Um and kind of sitting in the grief a little bit again, if I had been posting for the last 10 years, even inconsistently, even imperfectly, I would have something, right? I would have a record. I would have a history. I have a history, but you know what I mean? Like, I would have this place to point people to and say, look, this is what I can do. This is one thing I have done before. This is me. This is how I think. But I don't have that. I have the resume that looks great on paper. And I don't have something I can give to. I don't know. I want something to give to. I know that's not necessarily a necessary thing, but it's what I want. I want to be able to, in that line, an application where it says website or portfolio link, I want to put something there. I do. And here's like a part A, 1A of the outline to this piece. Just like a lot of people, we all share this common global trauma of COVID, and it happened. And it was at the crux of me turning 30 and starting that decade of my life. And just like it was different. My COVID experience was different than most in some ways, but um I also had to do some pivoting um at that time. And some of it was by choice, some of it wasn't. And yeah, you can say like now there's courses and stuff for pivoting, but really there's no true like roadmap of pivot. There's no roadmap for life, right? There's no roadmap for the stages of life. And so sometimes it feels like I just didn't pivot correctly, to be honest. Like I did certain things in the right order, right? But then like it really did feel like kind of the floor dropped out. The ladder was knocked down, so to speak, if we're going to use that analogy again. And the pivots that followed, I think that's when it even started to feel scattered to me, right? Um, but they also made sense. Like I was fortunate. I was fortunate that during COVID, I graduated during COVID. I got a job in the field I had just graduated in. Um, Now, was in a city or a place that I would have liked to be in? No. Had a great boss, made some great friends there at the time. Like, I know how to make the most out of a situation. But there were pivots, there were things that had to happen, and then I left that position to go on to something else. And so, like, you know, just life. It's how it is. Yeah, it was me making the best out of, the circumstances and trying to move on, just like everybody else, you know. Um, and so standing here with all this experience and just feeling like it's not that I don't have anything to show for it, but I feel like I don't. And I want to take action on that. I want my online presence to be my portfolio. And I don't want it to just be the professional one. I think that's the thing too, right? I want it to be all of it. I want the work and the lens and the way that I see things and think about things and the languages and anthropology and travel and the whole squiggle, right? Like I want to be able to, I want the portfolio to be that zoom out. And yeah, maybe you see a staircase in there somewhere, but there were squiggles and stuff before, and there's squiggles and roller coasters after. And it's like, you got to zoom out to see the big picture, to see the whole squiggle. So that's the practical side. And as someone who is fairly analytical and logical, I need to be able to rationalize things. I need a practical reason. Um, and so it just rained, and it like smells nice out, but of course then the bugs are all they're all doing their thing. Um, so then here's the second piece, and it's a piece that I had to do the internal work for, right? I had to acknowledge that I felt like I was being left behind in my own life, and I was tired of that feeling. And I told you guys earlier about the gap between what the resume says, what the bank account says, what people think of me, and how I see myself, and who I actually think I could be, and who I am, and am becoming. And that gap, though, was there for years, right? The waiting, the collecting, not building, not showing up. And, you know, it's kind of crazy because I always felt like I told people when I was going abroad and stuff, like, I would rather, like, make a bad decision and, like, move on from it than feel regret. And yet here I am sitting with regret. And regret doesn't shrink, it just grows. It's like a virus. And every year that I didn't post, every year that I didn't share, every year that I, you know, told myself that I had, once I know the way, have the way, once I have the direction, once the story is complete, once that chapter is wrapped up, maybe, but it never came. And the regret got bigger it got consuming in a way, right? To the point where I'm like, I'm tired of it. Like it's so much, like I have to do something about it now. Because I've realized it's just not gonna go away. I have to do something about it. And the only thing that can make this feeling shrink and go away is to do something, and doing is action. Taking action. Um and my version of action is showing up. So that's the why. Because if not why, when? And I've been asking myself that for 10 years. And if I don't do it now, another year passes, another month passes, another milestone will happen, you know, another job will be had, and it will pass, and I'll be back in a search, and I'll see that part of the application again. I'll be like, why did I not just start? Well, we're not asking that question anymore. No, we're shrinking that regret. We're not waiting another year. We're doing it now. I'm doing it uncomfortable. I'm doing it in the messy middle. I'm not waiting for the story to be done. I'm not waiting for the next chapter to finish before I tell it. I want my online presence to be all of these pieces of me. I want it to be my proof. Proof that I showed up, proof that I did things, proof that I stopped waiting, proof that the squiggle wasn't a failure, that the ladder or the staircase might have just been a zigzag within the squiggle. And then I'm still doing things in my life. And that showing up is starting now. It's all right that I don't have it figured out. But if I don't start now, I'll keep feeling like I'm being left behind in my own life. And I'm done with that. I'm done with that. So now the question is, Naomi, please, thank you. Move. The question is, what would you change if you started now? And if you're not ready, when will you be? Because ready isn't what to wait for. Start in the imperfection.